What's going on, everyone? So today we're just going to be talking about why the Bitcoin ETF approval is bad for the short term. So that's what we're going to be going over today. Remember, I'm not a financial advisor, none of this financial advice, but let's get straight to it. So speaking on the ETF approval, so the SEC approves 11 spot Bitcoin ETFs with trading likely to set tomorrow, and that was released today on the 10th of January. Now, this is pretty interesting because right before this, we actually had the news coming out that there was a false release that it was actually going to be approved. But that was just a leak of something that they were already going to approve. And my thoughts to this is probably because they just wanted to test the waters to see what would happen. Would it pump? Would it fail? Would it drop? What actually happened when they had the fake release, it actually dropped in price. So it just kind of showed them what they were going to have to do. So what do you think they're going to actually do here? Well, big money is going to sell out. And that's exactly what we're going to be talking about today, why this is going to be bad for the short term of Bitcoin. But let's go over this a little bit more. So down here it says the document lists 11 spot Bitcoin ETFs by Bitwise, Grayscale, Hashdex, BlackRock, Valkyrie, BZX, Invesco, VanEck. So there's all these other things, Wisdom Tree, Fidelity, Franklin. These are all the biggest funds out there, right? BlackRock being one of the biggest, Valkyrie's huge, Fidelity, all that. So there you were probably looking at this like, this is big money. The big money people, the rich people, the billionaires, this is their companies. Yes, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to be putting their money into it. In fact, if you actually scroll down here and look at the potential inflows, if you look at what this person says, once trading gets underway, these products could see large inflows. Valkyrie Investments co-founder and CIO Stephen McClurg says he expects $200 million to $400 million of investor funds coming to Valkyrie's ETF. This is just a Valkyrie. And he says all participants might see 4 to 5 billion of inflows over the first couple weeks. So if they're saying 4 to 5 billion, let's just be very non-conservative here. Let's just say it's 5 billion per capital fund here, right? 5 billion per ETF. Let's say there's 5 billion per all 11. That's $55 billion flowing into the Bitcoin market from these ETFs, right? That's if we're just looking at it from that perspective, 55 billion. That's not a lot of money at all. Actually, right now we're at 895 billion. And if you actually go over here and look at the market cap here on CoinGecko for Bitcoin, and you look at the last 30 days, you can kind of see what $55 billion looks like. Maybe in the last 90 days, but yeah, we haven't been there in a while. So it'll be 55 billion from where we're at now, which would be 955 billion in terms, right? If big money doesn't sell out, it gets to 955 billion in a few weeks. That's if big money does not sell out. But what we're going to talk about today is exactly why big money is actually selling out here. Because you may think like, hey, $55 billion could flow in, but that's not necessarily the case. Actually, a lot of money is flowing out of Bitcoin right now. And actually, if you look at this, when they first announced it, the fake announcement, it dropped. And that was kind of just a test of waters. And then they announced it again. It dropped a little bit more. It dropped all the way down here to like 44.3K. But then it went back up almost immediately. Now, why did it go back up almost immediately? That is because the normies, we're just going to refer to the normal people inside the crypto market as normies, right? We're not going to even refer them as retailers because that's more for the stock market. They're more normies, right? The drop that we had here was big money selling out. That big money brought us all the way down to like 44.9K. Actually, a little bit lower, all the way down here, which was about 44.3K, like I mentioned before. Now, big money sold out, small money started buying back in. Big money sells out a little bit more, small money buys a little bit more. And the reason why this is so important, if you actually go over here and look at the 24 hours for Bitcoin, this is all going to make sense. Look at the flow of cash all the way out here at the top at 46.6K. That's $43.3 million flowing, right? But if you look at the drop that we just had, that's $48 million. There's more money on the downside than there is on the upside for 24-hour trading volume. And that's because the big money, they're the ones that sold out and brought it all the way down. Their money holds more weight than yours. And now if you look at the current volume, it's still 47 billion, 48 billion. That's because normies are still buying. but every single second of the day, we're having the big money selling. And you can actually see this even more with the market cap. The market cap was all the way at $912 billion. Why did the market cap go all the way down to $888 billion off of good news? Because the good news means that the normies are going to be buying Bitcoin because that's their green light to go. Normies buy when it's high, big money buys when it's low. Normies are big money is going to sell now when it's high, big, and then big money, they're just going to be doing their thing, right? Because big money is pretty much trying to sell at the top here, but the normies, they're really trying to buy here at the top. So the problem here is that the big money is already exercising their sells, right? They're already exercising their selling orders. So what we've seen here is the drop in all of this because of the big money. That's 49 billion inside of 24-hour trading volume. We went all the way from 912 billion all the way to 888 billion. Now let's just see how much that is. 912 billion minus 888 billion. That's $24 billion that was sold out of the market by big money, right? But it kind of went back up, and now it's back at 910 billion because the normies are starting to buy. Like, small money is buying in. So now they're kind of counteracting what the big money is doing. But the problem here is that as small money continues to buy and big money continues to sell, eventually we still are going to get to like 52K. I still wholeheartedly believe that we're probably going to get to like 52K, maybe even a little bit higher. But what is going to come after that? We're going to see an even sharper sell-off coming from the big money now mixed with the normie people, because the big money is obviously going to sell at a higher amount because that's what they're already doing. And I'll show you that in a second. But then the small money is going to follow because they don't want to lose the gains that they just now got because it took so long for them to get back up here. Now, by the time April comes, we're going to be having the Bitcoin halving. The Bitcoin halving is definitely going to, spark a lot of people's interests. We're definitely going to have another pump. But me personally, I believe before that, we're going to go up to 52K. And then very soon we're going to drop back down to 30 to 38K. And then from there, we're going to make our way back up to 50 plus K around April and so on, right? So that is the main thing that I'm watching out for here right now. But even looking at the RSI down here, it is crossing. So we are about to have an increase right now in the short term, right? But this is still bad for the short term because going up to 52K, that's still short term. Like, even if we drop at 52K or 60K, it's still bad for the short term because we can still go back down to 30 to 38K very, 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 very easily. So that's what I'm watching out for here right now. We got a lot of stuff going on. They're going to be talking about inflation rate coming soon tomorrow. So we're going to have to watch out for that. And they're going to be talking about the PPI. So we're going to be watching out for that for like the next 2 days. And that could easily sway the movement up or down depending on how it goes, right? Depending on how that meeting goes. But what I really want to show you is what big money is actually doing behind the scenes here. So this is from a big Bitcoin wallet. This Bitcoin wallet has $943 million alone to themselves. That's 20.6K Bitcoin, 20,696.17 Bitcoin. Now, this wallet sold $455,000 worth of Bitcoin earlier today. And then yesterday, they sold $28.1 million of Bitcoin yesterday. Remember what happened with the fake ETF release. A lot of people sold out because that was their plan. When they released the ETF, the big money's plan is to sell out so then you continue to buy and they take your money. And as all the normies continue to buy, big money is selling. Their big money is selling. And then the final area is like the final boss. When it finally gets up to like 52 to 60K, they're going to do huge sales. They're going to open shorts. And they're going to make sure to drive that price back down to 30 to 38K. So then you sell your money at a loss and they can go ahead and buy back in. They do this every single time, every single cycle. Why have they've really not been too focused on accumulating too much Bitcoin until now? Now they're really trying to sell that Bitcoin that they've accumulated because this is their plan all along. Accumulate Bitcoin on the way up and then make a huge sale once we finally get that ETF, because they don't want to be holding when they get the ETF because they know what the other big money players are going to be doing. Now, this is a billionaire wallet. The other one was almost a billionaire. This wallet, 39.2K Bitcoin. That's $1.797 billion in this. Why did this billionaire decide yesterday when they had the fake news, they're going to go ahead and sell 39 billion? They've been buying all the way up until now, right? They also have been selling as well, but they have been buying a little bit. But why did they also sell 1 week ago 113 billion Bitcoin before they knew we were going to get an ETF approval. Why did they sell $2,500? Not billion. That's 113 million, by the way. But yeah, 2,500 Bitcoin, which comes out to $113 million. Why did they sell that a week before they knew we were going to get this approval? Why are they selling 39 million now that we got the approval? They've been doing this strategically. Even on December, they sold 130 million Bitcoin, 129 million Bitcoin. That was around 35 to 32K Bitcoin, 38K Bitcoin. They know we're probably going to end up dropping back down to 30K Bitcoin, right? They sold more Bitcoin down here at 42K Bitcoin. And I'm sorry, actually, that wasn't 30K Bitcoin. I was looking at how much Bitcoin they had. Like they had 32,000 Bitcoin right there. That's what I was reading. That's not how much it was when they sold. They know 43K, 41K. You want to sell around these areas because that's overpriced at the current levels where we're at now, where the big money is looking at it. They're looking at it like that's overpriced right now. So 43K was overpriced to them on December 25th on Christmas. They sold $130 million worth of Bitcoin. They sold $113 million worth of Bitcoin at 45K Bitcoin. They sold 39 million Bitcoin or $39 million in Bitcoin at 46K Bitcoin, right? 41K Bitcoin, they sell $61 million. All the way down here, 42K Bitcoin, they sell $126 million. They're not the only ones doing this. Even exchanges are doing this. This is a Binance wallet. They sold today $13 million worth of Bitcoin at 45.9K. They then sold $749,000 worth of Bitcoin also at 45K. $18 million they sold today, $17 million. They're doing more sales than they are doing with buying. And if you look at all these sales, it pretty much tells you the direction that they believe everything is going to go. So this tells me I'm always following the big money, by the way. Like if big money is selling, I'm selling too, right? And this is what big money is doing. Like they're selling so much Bitcoin. 28.1 million from this Bitcoin wallet. 900. This is a $943 million wallet, by the way. And they're selling big Bitcoin. Yeah, they were buying all the way up until now, but now they see exactly what's going to happen. You know, they've also been doing large sales because they know eventually they're really going to want to offload more and more Bitcoin. They still want to keep some, but they want to offload some more so then they can dollar cost average back in. So that's what a lot of these different whales are doing. And yeah, a lot of them are rinsing and washing their money so they can get their tax benefits. And that was on towards the end of December. But why are they doing it now inside of January? Because they know the price is probably going to go down a little bit more. And, you know, this is an opportunity for them to buy some more Bitcoin at a cheaper price when it goes back down. So you're seeing these Bitcoin whales as well. Yesterday, they sold 4.1 million. Day before that, 5.6. Why are these multimillionaires and billionaires selling their Bitcoin right when they know we're about to get the biggest news inside of the Bitcoin history? Because they know big news in Bitcoin means normies are buying up Bitcoin. It's a green light for normies to start buying, right? When really the normies should have been buying at 16K, but they're not doing that because, you know, I guess they don't want to buy low. They want to buy high and they want to sell low. That's what they know that the normies are going to be doing. So if the price is to drop because of the people that are going to short the market, then they're like, well, look, we're just going to wait till it goes down. We're going to buy at the bottom. So that's essentially what's happening here. So we see another whale wallet over here. They're doing the same thing. They're doing more sales than buys, and that's what we're seeing is a constant trend here. A lot of these whales are just selling and selling, but you know they're still buying a little bit, but they're not buying a lot. This is one of the biggest telltale signs here. So this Bitcoin wallet, you know, they've sold out so much Bitcoin. It's not even funny. Like they got 12.8K Bitcoin. They sold 1,200 Bitcoin. Like those are actual like full Bitcoins, by the way. So that's a lot. Today they sold 30 Bitcoin, which is $1.3 million. They sold out today. Yesterday they sold $1.4 million worth of Bitcoin. The day before, 2 days before that, they sold 1.3 million. Before that, 877K, 1.3 million, 1.8 million, 8 million here, 4 million, 8 million, 7 million. They're selling a lot of money pretty much. 13 million here. So they've been dumping Bitcoin at alarming rates, and they've been doing that for a while now. So this is pretty interesting to see because it shows you like what we're about to, you know, go into. It shows you the territory we're going into right now. So I'm following the big money. You can do what you want and not follow the big money, but I'm kind of stepping back and waiting because I do truly believe we're about to have a pump to like 52K. But that doesn't really matter to me that we're going to go up to 52K or even 60K, because after that, like, what's going to happen after that? Like, then, like, if it goes down, like, that's going to be a lot of money to make on the downside if you want to short it. And then there's also going to be a lot of money to make if it goes all the way down to 30K. Then you buy Bitcoin and then you also long it on top of that. So you're buying your Bitcoin and then you're doing futures and longing it on the way up. So there's a lot of money to be made here in the market, and the big money really sees this. So they're going to manipulate the markets like they always do, right? Now, the small money, the normies still have money to, like, help move the market upwards. That's why the market's moving up, because small money is buying a lot of Bitcoin. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like, small money is doing their thing, right? They're really lifting up the prices, right? The big money dropped it all the way down to 44K, 44.3K, right? But now small money is getting it back up to where they want it to be. So we're gonna have to wait and see exactly how this is gonna play out. But me personally, I believe this is gonna be bad for the short term. So hey, we're just gonna have to wait and see. We're getting closer and closer and closer to our all-time highs. Remember what Bitcoin did? 69K at an all-time high. If Bitcoin gets up to 60K, there's gonna be a lot of people selling out really fast. And that's just the nature of the game, right? Right before you hit the peak, you always get people selling out, right? The same thing back here, right before Bitcoin hit a peak, first it hit its peak on 2017. It got all the way up to like 16, 18K, actually like 19K or 20K. And then from 2017 going into 2019, it almost got back up there, but then it started to go right back down. So I believe that's actually what we're doing now, where we're going to get up to almost our all-time high. And then we're just going to have a huge drop, bringing us back down to like 30K. And then we're going to get way past 60K, way past 100K after that. So that's pretty much my analysis here for what's about to happen in the market. But anyways, let me know what you guys think about this. Remember, I'm not a financial advisor. None of this is financial advice. Go ahead and hit the like button and subscribe. Check out the link in the description for the chart prime. Very, very good technical indicators. I use those personally as I trade. And as always, I'll be back with another video.